All right. Hopefully, the audio is going to come through on this. I want to review for all the managers how to set up the quarterly agendas. So everyone was shared this all quarterly agenda sheet, and on that we have tabs at the bottom. And the tab we need you to go to first. So the way this works is there's three main parts to our quarterly agendas. The first part is just an overview of what we're going to be talking about at the meeting. The second part, hide this tab here. We have the quarter we're on, the agenda that we're going to be covering, or our rocks for that meeting. Okay, and this we set up at the meeting usually, so there's nothing beforehand that you have to do with this section. But on the bottom of the tabs here, we have a year-to-date numbers, 2019, and year-to-date 2020. So 2019 is just to show you what it's supposed to kind of look like. So at the end of the year, this is the entire year-to-date number. 2019, at the end of the year, we ended up 28,000 in the black is what this is showing us on line Y4, and versus 2018, where we only ended up 18,000 in the black. When we talk about in the black or red, black means positive, red means negative. So what we do for our manager meetings before the quarterly meeting is we go through these lines and we pull these line items from the income statement or the budget, depending on what we're looking at. On this, it's usually our income statement, and this would be from the start of the year till the end of whatever quarter we're on. So this is a little odd because you're looking at just the fourth quarter here, but if I was to expand it, you would see all of our other quarters from that year in the last 2 years. So that's the way that works. So I'm going to show you how to pull this up. So once we import the numbers, and the numbers should be imported by the Friday before the meeting. In the perfect world, everyone gets everything put in the Friday before our meeting. That way the managers have Saturday, Sunday, Monday to look at things. And then we always have our meetings on Tuesday mornings. So I'm just going to take you through the 3 reports that you have to really run to get this information. The first report is our income statement. To see that, and just to show you this, we go into our report catalog, and at the bottom of our report catalog, there's the general ledger, the GL, tab 3, and we want to run our income statement. And this is kind of, and what's important about running the income statement is it always has to be run till the end of a month. So today it's 7/2, July 2nd, 2020. So I'm going to run this report from the first of the year up to 6/30. I'm going to run it for Green Bay because that's my store. Current ledger should be selected. I click OK. And myself, I always email these to myself, and I print a copy off normally. Because we're reviewing this, I'm going to just screen it. And I'm going to walk you through getting these numbers. So that might take a moment to run. The other 2 reports that we will be using on this is we can figure out the top, is our shift summary report. And that is how we figure out what dollar amount each person brings in. That'll be right here. And then the margin and the rest can all be pulled up from our sales staff performance report. So there's only, like I said, the 3 reports that we really need to run that work really good. Let's see if that's done. Awesome. All right. So running through each set of numbers here. We're going to go at the top. And the first one, we always do what we call our rundowns from the bottom to the top. A rundown is when you kind of overview all of our numbers, how we're doing from the most important number to the least important. So for us, the bottom line is going to show up on the last page. That is telling us how good or bad we are doing year to date, or whatever period we select. So Green Bay is not doing amazing right now. We have lost. When something is in parentheses, that means it's negative. So year to date, Green Bay has lost $395. So that's, I mean, that's nothing, but it's still, I mean, it'd be great if it was $10,000 in the black. It'd be $10,000 profitable, but 395.45 is basically we've broken even this year. Well, technically means we lost $400, but so that would be my bottom line. So on our tab YTD numbers 2020, I'm going to put in at the top here. I'm going to put in January 1st to. This is really weird because of COVID, but you'll get the idea. All right. My bottom line is going to be minus 345 for 2019 or for 2020. Okay. And normally I would put on what there is for the comparison, and it will show me that typically automatically here on the right hand side. But because the previous year has not been finalized, I can't put those numbers in. But it would show me 395 compared to last year where we had, a positive 4,000 or something. So again, this is kind of a weird situation because of COVID. Everything gets messed up. Next line is total expenses. So with the rundown, we start at the very bottom and we kind of work our way up. Total expenses is right here on the bottom, usually of your last page. 209,000. It makes it really hard not having something to compare it to, but we can kind of get some of those numbers from this report afterwards. Now we're going to do accounting format expenses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to round up or down by $500. The last number. So 209,142 is going to be 209,000, 209K. It just makes it a little bit cleaner, a little easier to do. After that, I have to find my total income. And that's usually on page 3, depending on the report. Every store is different a little bit. Just to kind of show you, your way your report is laid out is it's laid out as merchandise sales, merchandise cost of goods, and then basically other forms of income. And then after your other income comes your expenses. So our total income here is 208,747. So, basically 209. And I would put that down here at my 209. And normally I just put my numbers in and I adjust it after the fact. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. So my next two numbers are going to be total merch and total merch cost. I go to the very top. Page 2. I start to see cost of electric guitars. This is my total merchandise sales, 79,471 for the year. So I'm going to put in, because it's less than 500, I'm probably just going to round down to 79,000. If I want to do 79,400, that's fine, but let me see here. So I should have a total cost of merchandise sales. There it is. Okay. So total cost was 102. My total profit was 79. You see that? And then my total merchandise sales was 181. So total merch is 181. 2, I think. And then my profit would be 79. My wages, you can kind of see from the previous year the format. And once you get through this top section here, all of these numbers, your wages, advertising, all of that, can all be found in the bottom of the report in the expense categories or in the other income. Pretty easy to find. You just line the lines up. If you have questions, give me a call. The top three categories, this is by dollar and percentage of increase over the prior year. It's really hard without previous years, but we can look at our lowest three producing categories. And the way this reports is this is percentage of sales, percentage to the year. So of our 100% of sales, whatever they would be, this is the breakdown. So our biggest categories are like Fred accessories or Fred instruments. Those are pretty big. Some of these other categories, 12% of electric guitars. So the ones that we want to look at are kind of the smaller percentages, but still significant categories. Meaning I don't care about my multimedia software. It's 0%, but it's not a big enough category to even put on here. You know, sales and effects pedals, that's a better one because that's, I mean, the biggest thing on here I'm seeing that kind of that we can fix, increase or decrease. So again, it's going to be hard this year because of the way the report is, but that's the way we import our numbers on the top. Once that importing is done, what we want to do is we want to put questions and comments in. To do that, you would click on a cell, you would right click on it, and you would click comment. And what you can do here is you can say, if I want to message, as an example, Jim about something, I can type in Jim and put a plus sign at the beginning. I'd say plus Jim. And my question might be, do you know why the keyboard sales increased so much? Because they went up 75%. Jim Ruski, now he'll get notified by doing this comment. Jim will get notified, and the idea is to have all of our questions asked before the meeting so that we can just resolve them. Or like the other person can answer. And then down here at the bottom, you'll see that it now has number 1. That is because of the comments. We can turn those on and off so people can see them. So the only other 2 reports we need to run would be our sales staff performance report and our sales shift summary report. I'm going to show you where you can find both of those. You would run those for the selected time period. And the first one is under our customer tab at the very bottom of it. It's our sales staff performance analysis. And again, you would run this for the selected time period. So 0101 to this year to 0630 Green Bay for me. I would uncheck these boxes here and click OK. And it can take a little while, so a lot of times what I will do, I'm always going to email it to myself. I'm going to screen in this situation. And then the other report I like to run, I will open up a second AMSI. That way I don't get bogged down by having to wait for that first report to run. And I'm going to run my sales shift hourly report. So that's this one right here. I'll show you that. All right. So the last report is found under tab 8, miscellaneous, and it's called our salesperson shift report. That's that first report. I'm going to run the second one, salesperson shift report. This one's kind of a pain in the butt to run. The main thing about this one is here we will still put in our date range. I'm going to pick your location, but this report's weird because you basically have to see everybody. So I would never print this report by default. What I did in Green Bay that has helped me a lot is I have set up Green Bay, a category called Green Bay Employees. I don't think it's going to show up. So I'll run it for everyone, but I'm going to just email this report, and we'll see why. I would never print this because you have to print specific pages because it shows you every person every time. So running back to this one for a second, I can figure out my top 3 salespeople pretty quickly with this report. Running through these numbers. So year to date, we have had 2,600 sales with an average of 2.04 over 2.04 items per transaction, which isn't bad. Average sale is $73. To me, that's pretty good. Sales of $184,000. Cost of goods $101. You'll notice these numbers are slightly different. It's the difference of the way they plan out returns, if it calculates returns or not. The gross profit and our year-to-date gross profit, which is fantastic. Normally, a gross profit for Green Bay might be 39 to 41%. 45 is really, really high. But sorry, it's a good place to start. And then what we do is I look at my top selling people. Like Jason here, 645 sales, 2.1, $77 on average. These are some great numbers across the board. 47 points. He's doing awesome. So he'd be my top guy probably. I'm going to put him down my sheet. Now this report is the other report we use, and I really like this report a lot because it breaks it down in a different way. So let's pull Jason up here and we'll kind of give you a better example. But as you notice, as I go through all this, you see every single person we have. Now, reminder, by default, we have an expectation of our new sales guys to be doing a minimum of $40 an hour in sales. And that's what this report's going to show us. I'll show us that. Here's Jason. Okay. So running through Jason's numbers. Jason's at 46.33% profit. Year to date, he has done 820 hours between 1/1 and 6/30. This only shows up if you run this on a daily basis, this top section. This bottom section down here shows me. So this is like just for the day, and then if you go down a little bit, that's whatever time period we select. So for us, it says month date, but this is actually his year date. He's had 645 sales with 24 returns. He has done an average of $77 an hour. Average of $77 a sale, but he's doing at least $61 an hour. And a reminder, as a standard employee, a brand new employee after their training, you should be at least $40 an hour. That's kind of the bare minimum. $40 an hour at 45% profit margin. Jay, even after returns, he's at $57. I'm really happy with those numbers, especially with COVID going on. He really lost a few months of sales. So normally his numbers are higher yet, but this would be a good example. So I would take my top guys, my top 3 guys, I would put them in the report. And then we can kind of compare between locations. So it's kind of a quicker overview, but we covered a lot of different things. This would be the way to, again, run through setting up for the quarterly meetings. They always happen Tuesdays, 9 a.m. This report should be done by the previous Friday. For any other questions, please give me a call at my extension. Thanks.